Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And today we're going to talk about Ahsoka news. Hi, how's it going, Rob?
We're talking about Ahsoka nose.
Ahsoka news. Ahsoka news.
Ahsoka nose.
Ahsoka news. Ahsoka nose sounds like an island. Yeah. What? Say what?
Jason.
Oh, hey, Dave.
I got a big scoop for you. I got a big scoop.
Yeah.
I know you like 2 scoops, like all Raisin Bran stuff. So
I hate that. That's disgusting.
You know, I'm making 2 movies. So we got a special. We're gonna have Sting do a theme song for our movies, Jason.
No, you're
we're
not.
We're gonna do Fields of Grogu. We're gonna do Fields of Grogu.
You're the only one who remembers that shitty song, dude. Nobody remembers Fields of Gold.
No.
That's the worst Sting song of all time. You should get the police back.
No. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be just like Phil Collins on Tarzan, And we're gonna do Ahsoka. I want to do Poe Dameron, but he only in the movie, so And I'm trying to get him to do brand new Ray for the other movie, with Ray in it, but it's all up to Kathy. So I'll give you Field the Grogu and Ahsoka.
Well, now's the time to tell you to like the video before you decide that you don't. So
I think they all made up their minds about 30 seconds ago, Jason. It was like, unsubscribe. I'm out of here. Back to Hard Off. Bye.
But anyways, thank you to everybody for liking the video and the show and being a channel member, like my friend Colin Llewellyn. Writer, striker. Does Ahsoka a choke a bitch with those tentacles?
Oh no.
Probably.
We got some new people in the chat here, Jason.
I've known Colin forever, actually. Colin's old Star Wars internet. But but we haven't seen him on the live show in a while. So the whole thing about that, like with all of that stuff,
some man's gold humor.
Well, I mean, like number one, this stinky bitch in cum-stained sweatpants who went out and said 15 different actors are playing Sabine in the show needed to try to shit on me, hoping that we don't remember all of the shit he gets wrong, because he needs the validation. I don't need any validation. I need your money. I don't need your validation.
Except when you go to the mall.
Except when you go to the mall. Well, do I look fat and black?
$9 cookie. Do I have to buy a $9 cookie? Do I?
Yeah, kind of. You do. Kind of. But anyways, this I hate those guys that go around and be like, I'm gonna debunk. Like, if you're gonna debunk, then bring some new shit to the table, bitch. And not your cum-stained red sweatpants that you do karate in. And wash those fucking things. They're disgusting.
Okay.
That said, everything in that story from last week that you were riffing on is predicated on the fact that if the strike does not end by a suitable date. So once again, if the strike doesn't end, that's a plan that is very likely to happen. That's a plan that they are working out. And by they, I mean the Disney people. And if the strike ends today, if they get anywhere, if they've gotten anywhere, and it changes, then it changes. And that would be great, because that's not really what I want to happen. Personally, I would rather they go about what the real plan is, as opposed to having some bastardized version. It could end up better, but it might not, But we are approaching like the 23rd, this guy's birthday. Also, you know what I found out? The release date of Teen Wolf. Huh? I didn't even know this. Teen Wolf may have a birthday this whole time. And Ahsoka.
The TV show or the movie?
There is no TV show. I don't know what you're fucking talking about right now.
What about Teen Wolf 2?
All I remember is that Russell McKay guy went and made Highlander and then died, and we never heard from him again.
Fair enough.
Natalie Portman just got divorced. This is pertinent news. This is important to my life goals.
It's like the game is on. Right.
It's time. Does she know it's my birthday?
Same. Right. Like.
But there was like a big TV spot, like a minute, 45 seconds, I think. I went and I took all the pictures from it. I screen capped it. and a lot of it is just the stuff that we've already mostly seen before. But I figured we could look through it, and like it's about 40 shots in this one or whatever.
Sure. I just got one question before we do.
Yeah.
What does "I miss the more straight Dave impressions" mean? What does that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I mean, I don't know.
We've had one Dave impression on this show since day one. It hasn't changed.
Oh, on that same note, I took my kids to see Turtles over the weekend. We went in the pool because I'm a little bit red from being in the pool today. But I took the kids to see Turtles. Two things. Anybody who watched that movie to come out and say that like Splinter is gay or anything like that, they just have their own agenda. Number one, I didn't pay attention to it because I just don't give a shit. But the second time after it was brought up on the show a few times, I was like, okay, they call that slug, or what's it called, scumbug or whatever. They refer to the character as her like 4 times throughout the.
This is what people are mad about, not the fact that no one's really a ninja or they weren't tied to the Foot Clan or the Ninja Clan. This is my problem with the movie. I don't care about that other shit. Yeah.
No, I'm just
fundamentally disagree
I'm
with
setting
the
that
origin
straight.
changing. Yeah. It's just stupid. Stupid.
But
are they still mad at Mr. Potato Head? Remember that one? Is Mr. Potato Head still on the show? I think Potato Head's still on the show.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're mad.
They were all laughing at Toy Story when they put Don Rickles' Potato Head in drag. Remember that one? No one cared.
Yeah. Well, hey, what can you do? But one thing, a couple of things. I think we were a little hard in our review on the music for that film. Because as I went through, no. We particularly went in on it being a dated soundtrack, which is what it is in total, but it does go well beyond 1990 more than one time. And I thought it was actually kind of funny that that Splinter falls in love with a cockroach, basically. And at the beginning of it, his best friend is a cockroach. Remember that? So he has a propensity for being friends with cockroaches. But
yeah, that's what I went to that movie for. All right.
Yeah, well, I saw it the second time. Some parts I enjoyed more, some parts I enjoyed just the same. Most of the things that I think that we're hung up on depend on what the direction of the sequel is in the big picture, But
if they were like, we did a new Batman movie and his parents were never really murdered, he just sort of grew up always wanting to be Batman because he watched some movies. You know what I mean? There'd be freaking riots in the streets.
Yeah, but it's like,
no, I don't want to hear it.
The Turtles were never ninjas.
You could do the same story. You could do the same story and not change the origin. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would they be called Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael if their father wasn't raised on classical literature? It doesn't make any sense. They were raised on pop videos. They should be named RoboCop, Skittles,
and
Forrest
that's
Gump.
Probably why something that I would imagine would permeate into the sequel. I imagine when you have Shredder come in,
Lucas, Spielberg, Zemeckis, and Gale. You know what I mean?
No, but you have to. But the thing about it, Rob, is like I said, the sequel. You can't bring Shredder in it and then have it like, oh, we just don't even know him. We don't care.
Okay, so, if they were going to name them after, they would have named them after 80s directors. So we're going to say Lucas is in there, Spielberg's in there,
or
Carpenter?
Splinter's lying. I think Splinter's lying personally. I think that's going to be the Carpenter? I think in the big picture, it's going to turn out that Splinter was lying, that the origin story is true, that there was more to it, and because they set him up to be a big coward who's afraid of everything. But when we do see him in the sewers, he's not afraid. He's actually ready to kick that little turtle's ass. And I'm kind of curious if it's going to turn out that he ends up training with or having the master, and then we're going to go from there, and that there's more to the story. I agree with you in the sense that we can't evaluate the movie based off of, we could only evaluate what's there. But at the same time, when we start armchairing, we start going well beyond the parameters of the movie itself.
Well, we can go armchairing because they armchaired the script. I sent you, Dark Horizons put up a whole review. They basically had the whole thing worked out in about 30 minutes and had to go and add. It's Wayne's World where they kind of go add for,
Yeah. All right, let's go.
It's a film.
All right. Well, we already reviewed it. Let's go into the Ahsoka thing.
All right.
So today, two things happened. There was we had that TV spot. I got most of the screenshots from the TV spots. Um, like I said, it's a lot of the same. So I'm not going to try to make you think this is going to be like going to knock your socks off or anything. We're not going to watch it because I don't want to get the channel flagged for no reason, how they do sometimes. But there was also some character posters and stuff like that. So we're kind of just going over like some of the general stuff that we're going to be seeing for the next, I don't know how many days we got, Rob, until the 23rd. We got like what? Let's say the 7th. So we got around 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. But
I'm not good at math.
Yeah, math is dumb.
He's a ghost. Oh no!
Right here, looks like he's been smoking the wacky tobacco on Tatooine. But yeah, like
Gatlinburg robes.
It's just Gatlinburg's. That's Gatlinburg Star Wars Santa.
Yeah.
There, but yeah. So like I said, we get more of the moments that we've seen before, but at the same time, like this is Ahsoka going up against the Inquisitor with a robot man. I don't know what those robot guys are called, but they're the Magistrate's Robot Foot Clan, I guess we'll call it, you know? And then we got like a shot of, I think that's Sabine and Ahsoka on the Magistrate's planet, probably around the time of Mando 2, I'm guessing. And, you know, like I said, it's all pretty general stuff. Stuff we've already seen a lot before. So those are HK droids, says Seth. Okay.
Bang.
Hong Kong droids.
Got so, little Padawan braid going on there.
Yeah. She has her little Padawan braid, and then you know,
real Ewan hair. I think it is.
Maybe.
We have video proof.
Lucas's daughter was like, "I'm ready to let it go now. I've decided it's not going to happen."
Filoni picked it right back up. Going in the show.
Yeah. And then we got, you know, like I said, we do see like a shot of Morgan Elsbeth activating this device with her hand.
Isn't that the sphere in Vegas? The big dome.
This is the map to the unknown regions to get, you know, to get to Grand Admiral Thrawn. Spring him back to the main galaxy, to the, I don't know what do you call it, the core or whatever.
This is when Metallica comes on and they do Planetarium. Right, during the sequence.
They might be listening to Pink Floyd too here for all we know, you know, it's possible. But yeah, we can see like all of the like star charts and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious about how this scene is gonna unfold, because one of the mysteries still of the show is how are they going to get there? Now, I heard that the stuff that was being made on Corvus was how they are going to get Thrawn. So we assume it's a large ship. Also, Thrawn has a fleet out there. The Chimera, his main ship, and all that stuff is out there. So why doesn't he just bring it back? So I'm curious if this thing that they're building is going to bring it back, or if it's just a fleet and they just all go out there and, you know, tow it home. I have no fucking idea how that's going to work, and I can't pretend to know. But Ahsoka doesn't know where Ezra Bridger is. They know he's with Thrawn. So Ahsoka goes on this quest to find the people associated with Thrawn, hoping that she could follow the breadcrumbs back to Ezra, we assume. And so with that right there in mind, we know that Ahsoka, remember she cuts the hole in the ground and does like the Bugs Bunny fall into the room. And then as a Jedi does. And when she goes in there and stuff like that, then we know in later shots that homeboy right here shows up and is like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then he's there with her. So does she go underground and get the same content? Because they're above ground. That's the other thing. Why is she going underground and they do their thing above ground? Or does Ahsoka go underground, move some wackety dackety levers, and then all of a sudden, like, this thing opens up top, and then that's what the bad guys use? There's something weird going on there. And mumbo jumbo, you're totally right. There's like completely trailer editing going on here up the ass. Like, no doubt about that at all. Like, but at the same time, we can assume that they're going after the same information. And then
Yeah,
how Mhm.
I don't really care about random logs in the background, like of any show. Like anytime people start like, I wonder what this thing in the back. You're just spending way too much time focusing on shit that doesn't matter. Like,
Mhm.
go back and analyze A New Hope and start analyzing things in the background and shots and see if they really matter to the story. You
Mhm.
know, like they don't. Like
What logs
it's
are we're talking about logs? What are you talking about?
I don't know. Someone mentioned so and so fucking
Oh,
was like the
well,
log is weird. I'm like,
okay.
who cares? Like, none of
Well,
this matter. Look, to me, the thing in
here's
the
where logs
background looks like
matter,
a
Rob.
coin operated arcade machine on the bottom left. Like, what am I supposed to do about that?
Well,
Like,
during Mandalorian season 2, they got a bunch of trees, painted them black and shaped them. Some are fake, some are real, and they're all like torch scorched looking trees. They were used for the Corvus set on in the Ahsoka episode of Mandalorian season 2. They saved every one of those fucking trees. They lined the whole set on the outside of the periphery of the set on the fence with them. Then they collected them, and so that was one indication that we knew we were going back to Corvus. And when you see them in the background of those shots, they are the same prop trees, the same type of fake prop tree used for that set. Sort of like what they did with on the Force Awakens for the Starkiller base. You know, they had all like that like tree set, sort of a similar kind of deal.
or
So
like when they use the Tantive, was it the 4 in episode 4 or 5? Which one was it? Tantive 4.
mm,
And then in Return
episode
of the
4.
Jedi, they just plopped the same model in the Return of the Jedi battle called the
Mhm.
Tantive 5. I know because when I put that screenshot on a t-shirt, Lucasfilm was like, this ship
Yeah.
is not for Return of the Jedi. And I'm like, you guys, you know something, man? Like, look, you want to see an angry Rob when Lucasfilm doesn't even know a shot from their own film? You get really mad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this instance, we're actually doing detective work because in this instance, you have Ahsoka Tano at a location. Those things are never used again. Then they go to make an Ahsoka Tano series, and then they get those things out again. And then we know that the magistrate
Well,
from that thing is in the. So it's safe to say that what that tells us is the location of the planet of where they are, which in
but
this instance is
Jason,
Corvus.
that's like
Mhm.
saving money, and we know shows should spend more money and make everything from scratch, right? 300
Yes,
million a show.
at least. At least. Yeah. We get a small little shot here. Yeah. The Top Gun moment, but we see like the E-wing or whatever it's called sort of like pan away, like fly away and leave her out there on the field. And then so in the rear here we have Ahsoka's ship, the one that we know from Star Wars Rebels. And so we're assuming that if this is the ship that the girls will take to get Ezra. That's provided that there's not something weird about them stowing aboard, the bad guy ship and going out that way or something. That's been like a big question. Is like, how do they get there? What do they use to get there and how? That kind of shit.
Right.
So, and then I will say too, by the way, lower your expectations for the performances based off of this
Oh,
trailer.
no
The,
problem.
this no the there
Yeah.
are some lines and they are the epitome of prequels would. They are as
Oh
wooden as
no.
the prequels in them. Yeah, yeah. There's a couple of lines in them. I'm just and if you know that, you should be able to go in knowing what to expect and enjoy yourself more than if you go in expecting it to be something. It's a bit cartoony, and that might be a Filoni weakness going forward. Is the fact that he doesn't know how to get performances that don't sound just good in ADR, but when somebody actually says them, they are fucking weird. Um, Rosario Dawson's a really, really strong actor, and we've seen Rosario Dawson take dog shit and turn it into something worthwhile in film over the years. And so
Yeah.
it's not her I'm worried about, which is good because she's the lead. But when you see some of the supporting cast say some of their lines, it does look like they're practically fucking reading it off of a cue card like Willow. Just to be honest, that was my reading of it, and I thought, why
You
did you
say
decide to put
there's
this?
something special about this boy,
Yeah,
right?
I don't. Excuse me. I don't know why they decided to put that into the marketing. That's what I found to be weird.
Virgins. See, why
Yeah.
don't they bring virgins back? Star Wars virgins, right?
Because,
That's a word we love to use. Virgins. Remember all the movies virgins was in? Such a cool word.
yeah,
Virgins. He
like a
meant to say
virgins.
virgin, but virgins. Yeah, he meant to be a virgin. It's a virgin for us. It's Luke
No,
Sky. It's
he didn't.
Anakin
No,
Skywalker.
no,
Biggest
no. He definitely
virgin in
says
the galaxy.
no. He definitely says virgins. It's not virgin. It's virgin, for sure.
Virgins.
It is.
Virgins.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not virgins in the script though.
I know,
Yeah,
but I like to say it's virgins.
yeah,
Virgins,
and
virgins, virgins.
and we have that moment in the trailer where we see the bad guys, the Jedi mercenaries, Shin and Balin showing up to attack this rebel transport, I think. And I'm guessing that if that's to bust out the magistrate, I'm guessing that these scenes must take place after. Like, these Jedis must attack, and then that's when Hera is called in, or Hera's already a part of this and just doesn't get killed there. And then she must call Ahsoka and be like, we got a lightsaber problem, basically, because that's who she would call if two lightsaber force general disarray.
And then General Nadine's
Nadine, have some respect. Nadine is his ex-girlfriend.
She hyphenated her name as his ex-wife. She got Nadine as her last name. Right? Just a fucking anger, everyone. But I like the little Nadine outfits over there. Look to the right. Look at us.
Yeah, like I said though, when you see them up close, they are not the same quality as General Nadine's at all. These are the Ruby's costume version of it, and it is what it is. And but we'll have to see. Well, I'm hoping that Acolyte doesn't have this problem. I don't think it does, to be honest with you.
Ben Manor says Gilroy is not great at action. Andor was mid as can be on action. I think you're assuming action is more like Rambo 2 and 3 versus First Blood. Gilroy by the way, Gilroy wrote the Bourne Identity movies, so just chill out on that action thing. I don't think you fully understand what's going on there, Ben. Sorry, I love you.
But on Rogue One, there's a lot of action stuff he didn't do. There's a lot of action stuff he did do. So, and
and
Michael
and the director of photography for Dead Reckoning shot all the action stuff on Rogue One.
Yeah,
little inside fact there, buddy.
If you look at the shot right here, you can see that's Hera and Jason Zindula sitting in the seat. That's the kid. That's not Sabine or anybody. So there. And I'll be honest with you guys. I got excited when I saw it, but then I thought about it for a second, and it occurred to me, what a bad idea to make this sort of the carrot on the stick in a weird way. Do you want fans discussing this thing? If it's a red herring, it's a dumb idea. But at the same time, like, he might be kind of important. It might be, Red Hera. But it might be important in the sense that, like, Ahsoka Tano may accept what she is as a Jedi and then actually train this little guy at the end. That might be where this goes. I would assume that's sort of a natural progression for this. Or he becomes
a flashback too, right?
I don't. I kind of doubt it. It's possible that it's the prologue of the opening, and then because here's the whole thing: is this kid needs to be around 11 years old, and the kid in the seat, I cannot fucking tell you how old that kid is. I mean, he could be short. He could be. There's all kinds of things that are at play here, and an 11-year-old can be a child, and 3 months later look like a dude. So it's a really, really hard read on it for me.
Stranger Things proves that.
Yeah. And so anyways, though, everyone's like, oh my God, it's just Jason Syndulla. But it's like, from what we think we know of the show, this ain't the Jason Syndulla show. So I just see all of this discussion about a character that I don't think is really going to fucking matter.
Oh. Well, I thought we were getting the Jason Syndulla show, not the Ahsoka show. So,
you thought it'd be a big swing.
Total F grade.
after last time, I could understand
Kathy
why
strikes again, Jason. You know
that bitch. Sorry, dude. You know how
Yeah.
I get. You know how I get.
Yeah.
But Julian, thank you for the 4.99 super chat. Julian says, "What do you think the budget of this show is?" And this is
Is this the end of prices, right, Jason? Hold on. You want to go over $1, you lose. All
yeah.
right.
No, just based on the time that was shot, the set spaces that were used, and like what I know of it, it's probably under 130 million. If Bespin's in the chat, Bespin could refresh our memory on the budget for Skeleton Crew. And he and I both heard that Skeleton Crew was the most expensive of any of the shows ever in the actuals. You know what I mean? Without like development cost and stuff. And when you look at that one, like the directors and the talent involved, it kind of tracks, kind of makes sense.
Well, I
So
heard it's because they paid all the kids in Pokemon cards, so it's hard to
shit.
the budget.
It was like
yeah.
it was like $30,000 now, so that makes sense too.
Yeah,
But
it was a bad idea when they signed that contract. But
but hey, man, that fucking Geodude for 15 grand is worth it. But no, so anyways, I would yeah. So Frog Eater says Skeleton Crew costs 136 million to make per THR. And so if what Bespin and I both heard, and I am inclined to believe if we've both heard the same thing, that it is probably mostly accurate. Under 136 million dollars would be somewhere, to be precise. But I don't think it cost anywhere, or I don't think it cost 136 million dollars because it didn't have exactly the same kind of like set space as that show did at Cal State Dominguez Hills. They weren't filming Ahsoka there. They were keeping it to the other place.
Dingus.
So anyways, though, for all intents and purposes, Julian, it's just going to cost the same that all of these shows always have. I mean, that's just to be real with you. And also something to also that fans always get a bit jumbled on is they'll be like, oh, well, clearly Kenobi costs less. And that means that, because that's why it don't look good to me. But time matters as well. The budget and the time to execute that budget has a lot to do with what kind of quality you're going to get out of said production. But I would imagine that this will be at the same quality as Skeleton Crew and Mando 3. And for all intents and purposes, from how it looked to me on the outside looking in, it's about the same. With the exception of Skeleton Crew had a way bigger yard, like a way bigger like physical set space to use than any of them have had so far. But I think that was because they were probably filming more things at the same time on that one. Like they needed to get this shit done because of the strike. They needed to get ahead. So yeah. So
Scripts
anyways,
be damned. Shoot it.
No, on Skeleton Crew might not have good scripts. I have no fucking idea. But it should theoretically have the best scripts based off of the fact that it was the one that had just a smooth fucking ride, just right in, and it had like about 2.5 years to get there. So I don't expect it to have bad scripts. If it does have bad scripts, they made a choice to have bad scripts. You know, they just said, fuck it. And we saw them do
like
that.
A Saturday Night Live fake commercial. You got bad scripts, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw that with like Willow though. Willow was under no like fucking time constraint to be done when it was, and there was no anniversary or reason or like synergy involved in it, and they were bad scripts that were half-assed, and they were done. They weren't done to completion, in my opinion. And they just said, "Fuck it, let's just do it."
Do you have bad scripts? Does Joby Harold just come into your room and rewrite everything in like an hour and tell you to shoot it?
Yeah.
If so, call. I don't have we got a whiteboard this morning, but you know where it's going.
Yeah.
No,
it's
Taika Waititi.
Do you need a script that's just good enough, but Joby Harold's busy? That's how it would be.
As a truth, like G.I. Joe.
And then right here we got.
I actually like this shot.
Yeah, it's very.
I actually like this shot. I know you may be surprised, but I actually compositionally I like the fact that they probably used real cloud photography too to like mixture into some of this stuff. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I mean, like that's one of the things, like, over the years that Filoni knows how to shoot that shit. Like, he knows how to shoot the spaceships. He knows how it's supposed to look and how it goes. So it's like that's one of the things, like, I don't really have any fear about, but some of those line deliveries that we've seen in these TV spots so far, they've been a little bit rough, I'd say. So hopefully it's not that way when we see it. Hopefully it's just like we were saying, like they cut these parts out and put them into a TV spot that doesn't fit, and it's just the people not
Also,
doing a good job.
the ghost engines look a little bit like the flux capacitor to me.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Well, in case people don't know, Doc Brown was hanging a clock above his toilet, and he slipped, hit his head, and that's when he had the idea of a flux capacitor, and that's what makes time travel possible.
A Star Wars series that actually explains all the stuff that happened in the movies. It didn't happen in the movies. Came like a vision of light.
And then they put him in Mando 3, and why?
With the big red button. Yeah.
And then right here we got
the most Game of Thrones shot in a Star Wars ever.
You know what's funny to me?
If you squint your eyes, you'd think it was Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah. I go right to the Darth Vader pose of I didn't get my dick burned off. I actually have a real dick under here. And but that's what Darth Vader does. He like holds his belt buckle.
I'm no virgins.
Like, I got laid in
middle school.
Yeah.
It's force laid, not real laid. But, you got force laid. That's not a virgin. A virgin is a force virgin, right? Like that's what that is,
Nobody really knows. It's as Space Windu.
God, don't you just love the prequels? They just keep on giving, right, Jason? They won't stop. Like,
yeah, we got, like obviously this is like a different moment. This is Ahsoka versus the Inquisitor, who's also a mercenary. And then we have Shin, and this looks like Shin on General Madine's ship, killing General Nadine, probably. And then we see Hyung, who's the lightsaber creator. He's the one who, when a Padawan is old enough and gets their lightsaber crystal, he's sort of like the guy in Harry Potter, Ollivander, the wand guy. He's the one who helps them like select all of the parts that they're going to take and then use the Force to put together. So that's
this was actually my idea, but Dave wanted him to actually snort the crystals to prove their potency, and we already went through that with Kurtz on Jedi, and I had to cut that scene too. So yeah. Well, Hyung. Yeah.
I heard that you said that's what lightsaber sounded like, and that's how you came up with the name. Like he turns the gong.
No, it's that time Marsha bought me wind chimes for my birthday. I thought that would be a really great gift. They just won't shut up, all day. Fucking wind. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mumbo Jumbo says, "Oh my God, Chris Lloyd in Mando 3 was just a disappointment. I was so excited to see him. Slower taxi. Yeah, I know. Me too, man. Me too. I had high hopes, but anyways, yeah. Then we see Ahsoka fighting those cats at the feet temple, the temple of feet, and then." I believe this shot has been touched up a little bit more. Like I said, Hera is looking better in the moments that we're seeing her in the finished stuff compared to the earlier stuff. I don't think it's night and day, but it's an improvement. So I'm, willing to at least acknowledge that they are making it look better. And I think she's going to look great in the cockpit. I think she's going to look shitty out of the cockpit. I think that's just going to be the reality of this character's makeup design in the show. And I'm not somebody who's had a problem with the Inquisitor and Kenobi. I don't have a problem with Cad Bane not being blue enough to your cartoon. I don't care about that shit. I just look at how is this translating onto screen as a weird design or a weird thing. And when I see it, I do just see a lady in green makeup as opposed to like a creature. Like when I see Ahsoka, she looks like an alien to me. Hera to me looks like a lady painted green. Kind of kinky, I guess.
Whatever. I'll tell you what I see, Jason, if you go back. I'll
Okay.
tell you what I see. I see that even in Star Wars, when you park your ship at Walmart, some little bastard kid comes up there and thumbprints your freaking window, right? Like he
Right.
was going to get his damn hands off your windows, and you don't notice it till you're out in space and you can't see. You can't go. There's no windshield wipers in Star Wars, Jason. You can't go out there and wipe that, right? Maybe if you got Chopper could go out there, maybe get a buzz droid just to wipe it. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
It's possible.
Little Jawa. You know those were Jawas trying to find their way in.
Makes sense. All right. Then we got that shipyard again. I do think the ship, or whatever you called I'm calling it the shipyard. I think it looks good. I think it's, it's not bad or anything, but I'm also not like floored by it. I mean, we've seen it a couple of times, but it's okay. The shot of Chopper's looking good. I mean, I think this almost looks like something out of Rogue One, which is cool. The spaceship stuff.
The GoPro cam shots. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. They got GoPros in Star Wars now. That's okay.
This almost looks like one of the cartoons. This shot. Mm-hmm. It's just a bad pose. Like it's not. It's a real person, but it's almost.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not a fan of those cartoons when they try to get realistic in some ways. I'm like, just go fully animated. But I don't know. If you love it, it's just.
No, it's fine. I mean, they picked a weird moment for this one because she doesn't have the saber held all the way up. So it's just the tip is coming out there on the top, and like, okay, all right, just the tip, Filoni.
Little yaddle's poking through.
Yeah. And right here we got like Ahsoka versus some basketball players, I guess. But no, she's like fighting those like droids, those like HK7 droids, and then right here we got those feats, the feats from the set that we got to put the photos of, and we see her jumping off there, going to slam dunk on this wall. Another game of basketball. So like I said, you get some action in it, but we see Ahsoka's ship right here. I think this is flying with the Rebel fleet. So probably, like I said, most likely all of this is from like the first episode. And most likely this is Ahsoka answering the call after the Jedi sprang Morgan Elsbeth out. And then we got our Millennium Falcon shot, our gunner port shot.
I don't want to. Woo! Everyone's tried to recreate the Han Solo bit, and no one's done it. It's never.
Maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll.
It's never happened.
Yeah, well, the gunner port sequence from A New Hope is probably the most TV friendly thing that a Star Wars television show should master, I would say.
I mean, Billy D. Williams got the closest in Jedi, but he had to wrap it up to like a 30. Like he had to go.
Yeah, well, he gets a better escape from the Death Star than anybody in that movie. So
I like Nien dubs. Yeah,
that little
it's
weirdo.
Probably the best. It's probably my second favorite.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen that guy in these Mando era episodes yet, because the actor's a cool guy. They love him. He's available. Might be because he's in the UK. That might be part of the problem for them. But he's a character who they've made a new costume for that's probably still operational, I would imagine, from the last 3 sequel trilogy films. So
I'm fully operational. I can do Nien noob.
Yeah.
Hire me.
Yeah.
I like it when 2 girls touch their sabers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't mind it at all.
Lens flare. Look, you think those are nose flares? They got to be nose flares.
I don't know. He's like, maybe he photoshopped every frame himself. But then we just got the Inquisitor spinning the saber. I got a shot of Ahsoka through the saber. I was like, ooh, this is artistic. George Lucas selects anyone? That's what I said to myself when I took that one. And I patted myself on the back like I was better than everybody.
You waited a whole week for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I did. I just remember that right now.
Yeah.
But
you got Chopper with an umbrella the next week.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what's in that spot. There was a couple of other trailers that hit, but most of them are like master and apprentice style things that are just like, master edits using all of Star Wars footage, to like paint this picture. And it starts off with, you know, the whole like Sith thing, but you know, there's like a master and an apprentice, always two there are. And but that's also true of the Jedi, so I think it does fit for what it's worth. Don't really care, but it is what it is. And then here's some of the character posters. Gotta say, I'm not also, so I hate to be a huge downer today because I think I'm just being a downer, but not a huge fan of like character posters, but I get what they're meant to do. They're meant to get social media engagement and interaction. They're meant to help with the fear of missing out. Like this thing is happening. Look at how many posters there are. You're missing out if you don't watch the show. Like that's how this is like designed to be. Now, what I find interesting about it is because they are always naming their shows after the characters instead of giving the shows actual titles, which would be way more fascinating and engaging, in my opinion. And also would probably help with the secrecy a little bit. But they don't put like the character names on these things. And I feel like if you're trying to build your
Ahsoka?
IP, yeah, well, it would look bad if it said Star Wars Ahsoka and then it says Sabine. But that's the fucking problem with naming your shit. Like if it was called like, I don't know, the fucking Search for Thrawn, or that still has his name in it, but the fucking Search for the Grand Admiral, then you could, I hate that title by the way, but you could still like put like Sabine. You could market your characters in ways that builds your IP. But they can't do it when they keep having the name of the character be the title of the show, which is also, in my opinion, just fucking lazy. Like in the big picture, you know, it's a fucking lazy. It makes sense when you are Marvel and you have 75 fucking superheroes you're trying to sell all at once. Star Wars doesn't have that same kind of problem. They have a different.
Star Wars has eras and stories and the individual character. I've never agreed with the same in the comics. When like it's the comics called Darth Vader, I'm like, well, come on, man. You know, like all day, every day. I don't know. I know. I'm not a fan of. You know, they all can't be Ann Leibovitz, Jason. You know,
we watched something. You and I watched something recently, man, and in it, Annie Leibovitz was in it, and she's like in a photo part. I can't remember what it was. I was going to tell you. Did you know that was her? And I forgot. I don't remember what it was now. But anyways, yeah, the hair poster not that bad. Looks a lot better than I thought it would, but I've been really not up on Hera lately. And then we see homeboy with his majestic beard. Man, you must need a droid to keep your beard that nice, though. That's a lot of work. That beard, how good that beard is. He must spend like hours just grooming that thing. That must be like part of like Shin's training. He's like, you got to make my beard look cool. But I like it. But once again, these are that will never be anywhere except for a Twitter.
What if he just uses his saber to like trim his beard? Yeah, he doesn't just like he just holds it still and just kind of moves his face, you know, left and right, just to kind of like
yeah. Do you think her Darth name will be like Darth Olsen? Should make one of the Olsen twins.
Yeah, they gotta get her and Scarlet Witch together. They really do. Like,
but keep her away from the Joker because she will get him high and he will die. He cannot party with the Olsen twins. And then right here we got Morgan Elsbeth with her little widow's peak tattoo.
Yeah.
And right here you can see
she's getting hot flashes right now, Jason. Can't blame her. You know, I'd be irritable too.
Yeah. They call it Sith flashes in that galaxy. That's what they call it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, and that's like the gist of what we had today.
And you can get all 20 of these NFTs for $50,000.
I got to give him credit,
crypto, right?
For that never having happened. I got to give him credit for that.
Yet, but yeah, during
I
the
think
boom,
it's passed. I think it's.
You think it's passed, and then someone renames their whole site X. You know, you think we're over some shit, Jason, and then
then Elon buys Star Wars. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And then, you know, we're right back to square one.
Yeah. God, can you imagine if Elon Musk bought Star Wars? Yeah, he needs to make an episode
Oh, I
X
would. It
first.
would. I look. What you could. I couldn't get my feelings hurt about it, but you know, like all the conservative dudes just would. You know, it'd be fun watching them. Watch it all just be first they'd be happy, and then as they slowly realize, and then destroyed.
My source is feeling vindicated as fuck right now by Mumbo Jimbo. He says, "What's Babylon's Darth name then?" And he's like, asterisk Bela, because that's what happened. Remember, I was like, I needed to know this character's name, and then they told me Babylon, and I was like, okay. But anyways, yeah, what's Balon's name? I think it'd be just Darth Beard. I think that's Darth Beard. Pretty majestic. But
well, his last name's Antilles.
Don't do it. They're gonna believe you. They're gonna believe you when you say it like that.
Say it real confidently and don't laugh. Yeah, Santa's like, what? Oh, what?
Holy shit!
Meg already put out the video confirming
it.
Like,
oh no!
Poor Meg.
Poor Meg.
Yeah, she's good. She's fast.
Favreau was hyping NFTs up at Celebration last year. Wasn't he talking about like blockchain codes?
Chain codes. He was talking about chain codes on Boba Fett. You're talking about the chain code.
Yeah.
We covered that. It's not quite this. It's not exactly what he was doing, but yeah.
Yeah, he was more talking about using that tech in that way for new purposes, but not necessarily to buy his Grogu.
He was also
NFT.
the one that came and said he based Tony Stark in the movie off Elon Musk, and I'm like, oh, you mean before he almost died, had a change of heart, right? Then I believe it.
No, now, yeah. When we get to the next Avengers movie, they're not called they're called Team X.
What if the X-Men? So what if Stark in the next movies, right, just can't build a website? Do we? Or you know what I mean? Like, I want to see that.
He buys the Infinity Gauntlet for like $92 bajillion. It wasn't even a good deal. Wasn't even a good deal.
Yeah.
But
well, there's a bunch of those stones in Loki, right? Just lying around in paperweights.
Well, we did it, Rob. We'll be back tomorrow when the new stuff hits. I think there's probably going to be more stuff hitting tomorrow. And when it does, we will then analyze it and cover it. We're playing a little bit of catch up today. And tomorrow we'll be hitting whatever, if anything new came out today that I missed. And thank you to Bestman, by the way.
Versions in the Force.
Thank you to Bestman Bulletin for sending me the character posters this morning too. Okay, As the Truth says, Shepperton Studios Stormtroopers Company did NFTs because of course. So somebody did put their toe in the water on that one.
You see, you know what I mean? I love having a real nerd amongst us. Guy who takes notes and stuff. As the Truth is the best.
Yeah, As the Truth
keeps track.
How many did you buy, As the Truth? No.
Shut up, Jason. I was trying to divert the attention to his note keeping, not as getting suckered by NFTs. You know,
he's trying to normalize it so he could sell them and try to get like a quarter of his money back at least. But
Ubisoft might want them.
But all right, well, anything else to say before we go today, Rob? Short show, but it is what it is. We don't make the news today. Just report it.
Well, there's that stuff to talk about. Jedi Survivor going down to last gen, which should be hilarious to watch. But other than that, why not just put out a switch port while you're at it too? Just let it run at 240p.
I think I already did that when Bestman was on the other day before you hopped on. I think we covered that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
I missed the front end of that show.
Yeah,
because I was driving. See, I don't watch the show and drive.
Oh, you should. You should definitely be watching the show like this. What? No. Of course not.
I really should.
Yeah,
but no, man, I think we're good. Really show.
I think we did it. Yeah. We'll see everybody tomorrow. We'll be talking about the day Star Wars news and all that jazz. And anybody has any questions, leave a comment. Make sure you like the video. The show's also on Spotify, and you can watch the video there. And you can become a channel member here on YouTube. You can become a channel member on Spotify, which nobody's done yet. So if you want to be the first, you can do it that way.
The
And
first.
also have a Patreon if you prefer Patreon.
The first subscriber on Spotify gets a message from Felonious D. How about that?
Oh, okay. Hey,
all right.
That's a promise. But yeah. So, anyways, there's all of these different ways of supporting the show. So if you do, I appreciate it if you can. And we'll see everybody tomorrow, probably the same time. And we'll just be covering whatever the day's news is. And if you have any comments or questions, just leave them on the video, and we'll see them. And if you infuriate Rob enough, he'll definitely talk about it. And if it's a good question, we'll definitely make sure to bring it up on the show, especially if it's Slow News Day. All right. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Bye, Rob.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go. It's not about spaceships.